Energy Transfer Stock, ET. So their quarterly reports just came out. We got a little bit of news here, and we can take a look at the chart and see how it's looking kind of relative to the S&P and talk about the oil. So news, their quarterlies are in, and they're feeling pressure, cutting budget, cutting spending, and they're hoping shale drillers are reopening. They're saying some shale drillers are already reopening. So their 10Q just came out, and if we go to the 10Q here, cash 196 million. They have no money, and let's see, over 6 billion in liabilities that are due. And if we look at their accounts down, and we know they're cutting. I mean, they're announcing that they're cutting spending and cutting budgets, and so they have less money and less money coming in, and the debt is slightly lower. So I guess they have taken a stab at their debt right now, but they don't have a whole lot of money to pay on this debt, and so the oil prices look like they're coming up. So this is a good thing, and this is why people are interested in these oil companies. Energy Transfer is a pipeline company. Uh, Mostly in Texas, they have a new pipe scheduled for Q4 out of the Permian Basin, and they mostly pipe to Houston and the boats in the Houston area for shipping. And so this company is highly tied to shale, which makes it a big risk because shale is the sector that is not profitable at these oil prices. And so the oil prices are coming up, and shale is trying to reopen and start drilling again. So that's the positive news on shale, but the oil prices need to go, not trickle up a little bit. They need to like double for shale to be profitable as a viable sort of business, really. Um, so shale's going to get pretty interesting over the next couple of months, and maybe this is a value buy here on Energy Transfer. Let's just pull up the SPX and get kind of the comparison of how this thing is reacting to the general market in Feb 20 here. Okay, so if we pen them together here, so you can see the credit contraction that pulled the main market down here was affecting oil in the same manner and affecting Energy Transfer here until this point where it crashed before the market crashed, and it's down. I think it's around 80% or something, and it went to a bottom before, and it bottomed here before the S&P bottomed here, and this is the same type of movement down, but it's kind of getting an interesting movement on the way up where it is sort of trading inverse a little bit, like this peak is relative to that one. But yeah, it's weird. The way that it's moving is different than most of the stocks. It's the same general trend direction as the general market here. And it looks like the credit contraction cycles are going to really be affecting it. That's it's a weird trend, and this is not investment advice, but I'm just kind of scared of anything related to shale right now, um, because as oil prices push up, these can recover, but there's the risk of another oil uh, crash. It could happen again. There's definitely the risk there, and there's a much greater risk of the credit contraction cycle having another down leg, and a down leg in credit contraction would be pretty aggressive for Energy Transfer because we just saw their balance sheet and they don't really have any cash to pay their debt. They could get in trouble really fast, and it sounds like the federal government is not really keen on bailing out shale related companies right now. So we'll see kind of how that goes. So I'm not super hot on this stock, and this is by request. Someone was asking me to take a look at Energy Transfer. So they do some storage, and it's natural gas pipelines. So this natural gas pipelines, highly tied to shale. They do some storage. It's kind of a midstream transportation company, and yeah, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess technical analysis wise, we can kind of wedge, and they're kind of like on the top side of a wedge here, which is good. And we can look at some MACD kind of things, and we got a gap here that would be a good target on the upside. If you like the risk and you want to take a look at the upside, so the MACD on the hourly candles is looks like, let's see, for immediate trading, looks like it's gonna barely go to the bullish side, and it looks like it's gonna cross over pretty soon. So that's kind of not great, I guess, on the hourlies. And let's get out to some dailies. And this is where you get the main swing. Okay, so this has roughly the same kind of swing line as the S&P, where we can't tell if it's gonna cross over or not. We're looking for another crossover on the general timeline, and it looked like it was gonna start crossing over and swinging here, and it's resisted that. And so we'll see if this diverges or if it crosses, if we get a swing here. But in general, right now, this is bullish territory up here, where these lines are. And in order to get bearish on sort of the weekly level, this thing has to turn down and get onto the bearish side of the chart. So this is bullish for the moment here, and it hasn't started crossing over or flipping yet. So this needs to, in order to get bearish, this needs to come together, and these lines need to get down here to the bearish side of the chart. For now, it's still bullish, and then we can look at a longer term kind of thing on the MACD. Now this is very bearish. This is long time bearish. So that doesn't look good for sort of a longer term outlook. I mean, out towards maybe the end of the year or something like that. It does look like it's crossing over, and it wants to kind of head up, but heading up into this territory is still very bearish. It's way down here. So this is mostly bearish MACD signals, and it looks like it's not ready to turn down today. It looks like it might push out, who knows, a couple days or a week maybe. And I don't know really where the upside is on this. I think there's kind of limited upside, and things are kind of coming together, and I think there is more downside risk from the general market and from the international oil situation. I think the slight gains in the oil prices are sort of the upside indicator here, but the credit contraction cycle and the prices aren't high enough for shale. So even if they try to start opening shale up, shale's not looking like a good industry to be connected to right now. And so this is a no thank you for me on this one. And I don't I don't like shorting it either, because it's just really unpredictable. And I definitely don't like their balance sheet. But this one it's not really clear where it's headed. It looks like it's trying to head up, but there's just a ton of downside risk basically. So it's really hard to predict, and I don't see a whole lot of upside for going long right here, especially if it's super long term bearish. It doesn't look like something that would be good to hold long term. Or yeah, I don't know what kind of trade would even make sense on this stock. So I hope that's helpful. This is Energy Transfer, And please hit the like button to help me out with the YouTube algorithm. And I guess I better take a look at the general S&P. I haven't done that in a couple of days. See what's going on. But not in this video. This is just energy transfer. And if you guys want any specific stock kind of reviews or analysis, hopefully they'll be more interesting than this one. This is, I don't know, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. And I don't have a clear signal here either direction in the short term. Long term, I don't really like it that much. And I think there's risk. So that's my idea on energy transfer. And happy trading.